All right, we back at it, Homegrown Radio. Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head.
West Coast indeed.
In the building, man. West Coast own Young Gerald.
Yeah.
What's the word, big bro?
Yes, sir, Ski. Man, just doing as good can be, man. Excited for this new music, obviously. You know, it's been a slow year. So, you know, when we get movement, I get extra excited, you know.
Right. I know you talked a second ago about hating doing these. Like, it's obviously better to do shit in person. We, you know, under the circumstance that
I mean, yeah.
2020 has the quarantine and just everything going. Has that turned up your hustle, or has it kind of slowed up the process as far as like how you operate, do music, and everything else around this?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's turned up my hustle in like an internal sense of, you know, I mean, I'm still in my studio every single night, and I think not being able to work in the way that I'm used to working, being able to tour, being able to see the actual fans that my music, you know, means stuff to, you know, and get out there and just actually feel the people, like feel the energy of, you know, like that's frustrating because, you know, there's just a limit that I can't control of, you know, of how hard I can work. Just not being able to do the things I'm used to. But, you know, internally, it's just been like, you know, we all share this adversity we're facing. You know, I'm not the only one living in a pandemic. So it's like, you know, we all share these restrictions and limitations. So, you know, I think, you know, for the ones that are just driven and forever hungry and forever crazy, you know, it's probably pushed most of us harder. The only frustrating part, like I said, it's just been, there's only so many things I can do.
Hell yeah. I know part of your whole shit is the shows, because I done been to a couple of them motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers it look like it's a zoo in that bitch. So but I know you got the record with Chris Breezy. Obviously, it might work out to your advantage not having to perform next to him, because I just tweeted out today my top 3 performers of all time: Beyonce, Chris Brown, and Tech Nine, bro. Chris Brown.
Oh, yeah, Tech Nine's definitely up there, and Chris is too, and I'm in the 5.
Bro, listen, let me tell you something.
I'm in the 5. Nah, you know who else is up there is Bruno Mars, man. He's one of
Bruno is fire.
Man. Yeah, I would say him and Beyonce, but Tech is definitely one of those that's special.
Performing, have you ever been intimidated, like performing next to somebody, before somebody, after somebody?
I think there's a common misconception with intimidation versus, you know, admiration and respect. Yeah. Like I can definitely, you know, acknowledge somebody's greatness, you know, and not feel like it has to interfere with mine or that, you know, I should feel intimidated in any type of way. But, you know, Chris is one of those that, you know, his body just moves to music like water. You know what I mean? It's just different. It's just so fluid and so innate and natural and just so him. And, you know, it was funny, like we were doing the video. And you know, there's a weird thing that happens because I've been in the house for, you know, all this time, and I'm not used to being around people, you know, like, so there was this certain kind of just like a little bit of rust, I think, just socially, like kind of just being surprised, like being around 50 people and all these cameras looking at me. I mean, it's one thing when, you know, I'm constantly in the flow of the work cycle of, like, you know, showing up to shoots and showing up to concerts and showing up to interviews and this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, you know, you don't do that for a year, and all of a sudden you're around people. It's kind of jarring, you know? So, you know, there was like a little bit of nerves, I guess, you know, just being in my head. And then we're shooting this scene where it's, you know, it's basically like a party scene, and I'm standing next to Chris, and he, you know, he's the most natural and the most, you know, just the way he just moves on camera, it does this shit. So it was like, you know, oh man, I'm thrown right back in with
one of the fucking goats, bro.
Yeah, you know. So it was just like, all right, you know, just get on your feet.
Do y'all, when you were shooting the video, I saw you posted the clip, but when you were shooting the video and it's a house party scene, I gotta imagine, like what you said, as far as it being difficult to do that kind of video within the COVID shit. Have you broken quarantine to do anything, like any partying at all, like amongst friends, anything like? Because I hang out with him every day, but that's pretty much it.
No, I mean, like it depends. I mean, I have I'd say like a bubble of my own of, like, you know, friends I trust and friends I, you know, I'll see here and there. But it also depends if, you know, if I'm making a trip up to the Bay to go see moms,
Fact.
you know, or something like that, then I'm, you know, as strict as ever on, you know, I'm not taking no chances. But I mean, you know, and I'm not encouraging, you know, or saying this in an irresponsible way. I mean, especially, you know, just considering, and I'm, you know, and I'm always serious about this when I talk about it, is like, you know, people are dying and people are, you know, are having a really tough go with this. And, you know, it's affected different people differently. I caught it. Luckily, you know, my symptoms weren't, you know, out of this world or whatever. I had a couple bad days, but, you know, just being sensitive of, you know, it's like,
what do you think that because I remember one of my homies caught it and he was asymptomatic, completely didn't have any symptoms at all. Did you lose your taste or
yeah.
I saw my friend, she took an onion and bit into that motherfucker like it was an apple, bro, on FaceTime. We were on FaceTime.
Man.
And then she took a whole
that's like the Grinch.
She took a ginger, bro. She took the, you know, the ginger shot. She took a whole thing and just gulped it. And I was like, bro, like, you're an animal.
Yeah.
I always say, and I haven't got it yet, heaven forbid, like I get it or whatever. But I would say like, if I did though, I would just take that week or 2 weeks to just eat like just all vegetables,
the healthiest,
with no seasoning. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you alter your shit at all when you was going through it?
So I was actually in New York, man, and this is a crazy story because, you know, and this is also pointing out what's scary about the virus is that, you know, I didn't like my first day with it. You know, this was a time where restaurants were open in New York, and I was going to restaurants, and I didn't know I had it. Wow. And that's really scary for, you know, for the possible ramifications. But, you know, on a lighter side, it was like, am I tripping or did this restaurant fall off? Like this used to taste better.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then my mind started to race, like, holy, you know what I mean? I'm starting to feel the body aches. I started to feel all the cliche symptoms. So it was almost like, please don't tell me, you know. And then my conscience is weighing heavily, like, you know, is there any possibility I could have came in too close a contact with anybody else while I was out, or, you know, because this is something I wouldn't wish on my, you know, my worst enemy, you know, like, so, you know, going through that. But yeah, man, it was strange, like, you know, being at like my favorite spots in New York, and that was really the only travel I'd done. It was my only time on a plane, man. Like, I went out there just because I was, you know, I like is being cooped up in the house, and somebody like me who, you know, I've lived out of suitcases for the better part of a decade, you know, for more or less. Like, I'm always traveling, always on the road, always, you know, getting to see different friends in different cities, getting to experience different things, getting to, you know, go places. And then when you come to a screeching halt and you're somebody like me who's just used to that, it's like you start to go a little crazy.
Right.
But, you know, definitely regretted it by the time I was out there. And
so
I caught it. But.
Now, since you said you've caught it, now obviously things are better right now for yourself. But now that they're rolling these vaccines out, what are your thoughts on that? Is that something you're like, yeah, I want to step up and get that, or is it?
Yeah. No, I mean, ultimately, you know, I side with the scientists, and, you know, and listen to science. You know, that's right. It's rooted in, you know, in math and laws of, you know, fact. You know, and if they say to, you know, it's bigger than what I can comprehend. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I didn't go to hella college for science and, you know, learn everything there's about science and dedicate a life to this. They did. So I'm going to listen to the person who did. You know, I wouldn't walk up one day and try to be a dentist, you know what I mean? Because there's somebody who spent their whole life studying dentistry, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to listen to the experts, and, you know, you, like, really got to play a part in going with the flow. In my opinion, I understand concerns in some ways, but I think there's so much paranoia and confusion that's, you know, and misinformation that's spread for a number of reasons, especially, you know, with our last president. But ultimately, bro, I respect the science. So
I want to real quick. You got a project coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
The last one came out in the summer. Was it summer?
Man, yeah. That it was like a side project, like an art project that I felt, you know, in my heart, you know, just at the beginning of quarantine, you know, like first couple of weeks, man, it was almost like, looking back on it, I was almost like, okay, I'm kind of down with this. You know, just like buy all the groceries you can buy, all the pasta and macaroni and cheese, and kind of like hunker down in the house.
This shit out, yeah.
You know, Yeah, and I was kind of like excited because I was like, wait, this means that I can go in my studio and just like, you know, completely like without any pressure or expectation, kind of just see what happens and just make what I want to make and just see where that goes. And for me, it was kind of like a liberating experience doing that project, Everything's Strange Here. But, you know, the focus has always been on, you know, like the fourth album being These Things Happen Too, the sequel to my first one.
Yep.
You know, that's my rap album. That's my opus, my you know, my life's work essentially, bro. And I'm 350 songs in. I gave it everything I could possibly give. So I'm excited to finally get this album out. Yeah. Yeah, 350.
Yeah, don't you just blow past that? So how many of those 350 did you do during the quarantine?
I've probably done, I don't know, another 60 to 70 since quarantine.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you have like a record?
I mean, I just like
I'm saying, as far as like when you record, is there like a record that you can think of like, oh yeah, we've recorded this many songs in one night? Do you have like a record in your head? How many times?
I mean, at least 7 or 8. Yeah. Wow. But it's also like that's like a fairly regular occurrence. So it's like, and I don't, you know, I like, you know, I hang out here and there. I don't really have a bunch of other hobbies. I mean, I've like gotten into other stuff over quarantine just because I have to keep me, you know. But I say is like all I really do is work.
Right.
So if you put a workaholic in a workplace, you know, more days than not, and
work is gonna get done.
You know, I'm you know, I mean, I'm 31. I'm going into my 4th album. It's like you sharpshoot at a point, and I know my work. I've been doing this for about 17 years. You know, so
the project. Do you have you have an idea when you want to come, or like you have to be continued?
Yeah, to be continued. No, man. I mean, you know,
don't do the Beyonce shit though, G. Like, don't just drop that motherfucker and then now I gotta go figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give a nigga like a 24-hour text, like a heads up. Like,
yeah, you'll have a heads up. You'll definitely have a heads up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you've always been family, you've always been gang, you've always supported everything we've done, and like, you know, and I, you know, like I'm gonna have a whole full-blown rollout, and this is essentially the start of it, man. I'm excited. Like, you know, this record with Chris, you know, I feel like I've gone back so many times and felt like I'm finishing the album, but one of the last like big like I went out and I got a place at an undisclosed location to just like zero in with the team, and we cut another 20 records in a week.
You and Chris?
There. No. Me
I was about to say, oh shit.
Yeah, nah, but Hitmaker came out. Hitmaker came out with his team, and you know, we did probably 8 or 9 records. You know what I mean? And this was, you know, like to me, the one that stood out the most as like, you know, I mean, flipping Return of the Mac, you know, and he's obviously got the Midas touch, Hitmaker, at, you know, finding those flips and, you know, giving new life to songs that, you know, are timeless classics that, you know, forever.
I think you and Chris got one record, right?
We have a few. He did Drifting on When It's Dark Out for me. He did a feature for me.
Right.
And then I did a verse for him, Wobble Up with Nicki.
No, I'm talking about your records. You only have one pre.
Yeah.
Okay,
Drifting.
So this is the
but second. He and I like, yeah, this will be the second one for me. But I mean, that's really the homie. And I know, like, you know, people in the industry, you know, it's my brothers, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, but not like Chris, like, you know, he and I, like, we've gone back for years and, you know, keep in touch. And then every time we, you know, end up in the same place and, you know, get to talking, it's like 3 hours go by type. You know what I mean? It's like, that's really my guy. So I feel like there's a chemistry there. There's a mutual respect there, you know, and there's you know, just a creative connection that, I mean, we could do a ton of them. It would be nothing.
I'm gonna ask you something real quick. It's kind of off killed a little bit, but I was talking to 40 2 days ago. And I was talking to the homie G-Eazy 2 days ago and I was talking about it for an hour, and I was asking him about Bay culture, right? And I just want to know from your perspective, do you feel like, because I feel like a lot of culture comes from the Bay, bro, and it gets borrowed, and sampled, and redistributed all kind of. Do you feel like the Bay gets the proper just due that it deserves? Because I don't.
I mean,
personally,
no, I can't say it does, but this has been an ongoing theme for, you know. I mean, and you know, I'm only old enough to speak on the last 20, 25 years, you know what I mean? But, you know, this has been going on a long ass time. And, you know, you say you talk to 40 for an hour. It's like, he's one of those that, you know, he always calls me early in the morning, man. And I'm not quite a morning person, but
bro, OGs be up early.
Yeah, he be up early, man. And you know, and he gets to drinking his wine by the evening time. He's going to sleep early and then he's back up early. But anyway, you know, me and him get to rambling, and next thing you know, an hour goes by easy. But, you know, so I mean, the Bay is a unique place, right? The Bay, I mean, if you think about, you know, historically speaking, the different movements, you know, it's always been a place of rebellion, counterculture. You know, the Black Panthers, you know what I mean, started there. Like, you know, you think about the hippie movement and, you know, peace and love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the pimping culture, like, and then you think about the hyphy movement, you know, in the mid 2000s and how exotic and different that was. And, you know, and then it constantly being a place of, you know, counterculture politically, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so much that's gone against the grain. So we have this way of like embracing our uniqueness, but what comes with something that's unique is sometimes getting ripped off because it's different and it's, you know, it's notable. It's like, damn, that don't look like nothing else. You know, I'm inspired by this, or I'm gonna take from this, you know. So just being a place that's that original and that's, you know, that's kind of like always push the envelope and push the boundaries and changed, you know, like I mean, even and I, you know, and I dislike a lot of what like the whole tech industry's done, you know, to push out the culture in our area. But I mean, if you think about it, like the tech industry is a, you know, revolutionary in its way too. So it's like, it's just for some reason it's something in the soil that's always been like kind of, you know, changing the game and changing, you know, changing the world.
I always respect, and I was telling I forgot who I was talking to about you. I don't remember who I was talking to about you, but one thing I always respected about you is no matter what, you always like, you know, anchor your shit into the Bay shit, like, and people,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But whether it's taking motherfuckers on tour with you, whether it's going back and doing the features with the homies, like whatever it is, I respect it because that's how I am about my city, you know, about LA.
Period. So. Yeah, no, period. I mean, that's just like, you know, I don't understand not having that in you because it's just so deeply ingrained in me. It's just like, you know, there's, you know, that's a huge part of my like history, my identity, my story, my everything. And, you know, that integrity, that love and loyalty, you know, to where I'm from and to how much I love my region will always be in me. So, you know, I mean, I can't count how many times I've, you know, done verses for the homies back home and never charged a dime, you know, or like always made a point to bring, you know, some like bring artists from the Bay on tour with me, or, you know what I'm saying, like give back to the communities and, you know, always stay connected to home, man. That's deeply ingrained.
I like the fact that we had a versus battle between the two big homies. And I feel like saying the world got a chance to see the Bay being celebrated. And talking about how we talk about the Bay.
My two drunk uncles up there, man.
It was just amazing to see that. You're right, like the drunk uncles, but we wanted that celebration, and we was like, yep, this is the big homies.
No, it was a great night for, you know, to have the world's eyes on, you know, two of, you know, the pioneers, Mount Rushmore, the founding fathers, the, you know, the icons of our culture. And, you know, I learned from them. I grew up on them. And, you know, the way they, you know, wanted to inform everybody who's watching, you know, about Bay culture and, you know, like cast the light on it and talk about, you know, just in case y'all don't know, this is what we're saying when we say this, or, you know, this is the region, this is the parts in the Bay that this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? And like give people almost a history lesson, you know. That's kind of our you know, is a lot of our MO has just been, you know, is what I get from them, and at least is like always trying to cast a light on, you know, where I'm from, and you know, paying homage and just trying to continue a cycle of, you know, I love the way they talked about unity in the community and just like, you know what I'm saying, supporting each other And for them to come together and for them to say, you know, 1,000 times through the verses, you know, we're not going against each other. We're doing this together almost. Right. You know, it almost felt like a double headliner.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now with verses, right? I had an argument. I've been arguing with listeners. I've been arguing with family. I don't think, and you can chime in on it if you like, I don't know who could go against Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be a good versus battle with Chris Brown? Because
I mean, yeah, there's so many hits.
Names thrown out there,
bro. Breezy's a bad motherfucker, bro.
I don't know.
I mean, it's, you know, and it's weird, man. It's like, you know, the first name that popped up in my head would have been Drake or something like that. You know what I mean? But you're in that pedigree, that conversation, that pantheon of, like, you know, some of the most important people, you know, in this culture, in this genre, in this space of the last, you know, for Chris, I mean, he's got so many eras of hits, right?
It's hard.
You know?
It's hard, bro.
It's really hard.
I don't know your name, but excuse me, miss. Like, what? I mean, he can go back. He's got a lot in that bag.
Yeah.
I'll take Drake. Hold on, Rick, last thing. Provide. Is there a reason why Provide? Is there like is there a reason behind that? I'm thinking too much into it.
The name Provide?
Name, yeah.
And what's funny, bro, it's crazy you say that, you know, and so that was the name that I think we had bounced the beat as, or just like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's not even in the chorus. I don't even know why it's called that.
Because I got a little sneak peek. I'm like, the name is not. It's not in the song like that in the hook.
No.
So I'm like, why is the song called Provide? So I was like,
yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking too much into it.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I like those kind of enigmas or mysteries, or like, why is it called that? Or you know, like, you know, the people that will know the, like, you know, the super deep information that, you know, the casual fan might not know. But it was literally, I think, when we bounced the original beat as when we made track, and it just kind of stuck, you know what I mean? And we had these whole conversations like, should we call it Vibe or Vibe with Me, or, you know what I mean? It's like something that's in the chorus. I'm like, those, it doesn't really, I don't know, you know what I mean? I guess it sounds a little, something about Provide, it just sounded like it worked. You know?
So I'm okay. All right, I'm leave that shit alone.
I even joked about calling it like G-Eazy featuring Chris Brown, Bounce 3, like Dot Wave, and just calling the song
Dot Wave
like that. You know what I mean? Dot Wave, yeah.
So we do this thing called Curbside Confessions, right? And we like to get stories with people that are in Uber, Lyfts,
Postmate crazy stories.
Have crazy stories with Postmate driver. Yeah. Your food got delivered something crazy. Do you have anything that you can think of off the top of your mind?
Crazy Uber?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, I've been doing a lot of Postmates, man. The other day, you know, I had some food coming. You know, he recognized me when he dropped the food off, and then he really like tried to come in my house to take a picture with me. I'm like, bro, it's a pandemic out here. If you didn't know, still. You know what I mean? It's definitely bad.
Fall back, bro.
What you doing?
Yeah. Nah, but there's this Uber driver in LA, man, and you know, shouts out to this guy if you've ever ridden with him. But he's got to be the biggest Migos fan. But you would never expect it, like a, you know, 50-something-year-old man, like, you know, older guy, that you would never just, you know, he just looks like an Uber driver. And you know, he just only plays Migos, and he just hits like every lyric, and while he's driving, he'll like look back at me like, mama. You know, like, he'll hit every ad-lib. And it's so many because, like, you know, on one hand we're dying laughing at this guy who you would never expect to know every lyric to Migos, but also I'm like, bro, can you stop looking back and look at the road?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Driving, dog.
You know, but the way he lands every little ad-lib on beat, man, it's just too funny.
No, that's hilarious, man.
No, so good looking.
The year can't end without G-Eazy doing what? What's one thing that you have on your vision board? What thing that you think?
Man, getting this album out first and foremost. You know, in a weird way, man, it feels like being pregnant for over 3 years. Type. You know what I mean? It's like I put so much into this, I just need to get it off my chest now. You know what I'm saying?
We get canceled. We are men, and we can't relate to the struggers.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, just trying to get that off my chest, man, because, you know, like I say the same with any release, but you know, as I mature and evolve as a man, as a human being, I think, you know, naturally I always push my music to evolve with me. And, you know, there's some real stuff on there. You know, it's me at my most honest and vulnerable. It's, you know, it's me growing as an artist, a lyricist, and a, you know, a mature human being. And it's just, you know, there's a thing about music, especially in our genre, where it's like a bit of it is autobiographical, you know, but it's timely. It's like, this is where I was at in the time when I made this. And, you know, it's like it may not land the same if I release it when I just don't feel like I'm in that same headspace as when I, you know, made it or what I'm talking about. So first and foremost, getting that out. And, you know, in a perfect world, this year cannot end without me being able to do some kind of concert in front of real people, man. I just miss jumping around those stages when I'm in the room with them. So yeah.
Hey, real quick, sorry about the last thing. I meant to ask you. You were one of the first people to embrace Cardi on a major record. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't know if you were the first national feature that Cardi had, if I'm not mistaken, but you were one of the first people to embrace Cardi. Did you have did you know when she first came, you knew like, oh, I
mean, I've always loved, for whatever reason, like just working with female artists. And I think there's like a dope dialogue and kind of balance sometimes it happens. And I've always felt like there's, you know, this ridiculously unfair and messed up discrepancy in the balance of, you know, how many female producers can you think of, or engineers or artists, you know what I mean, especially in hip hop. And that's always been bothersome to me. But, you know, like I just, you know, I followed her from early on, and I thought everything about her was just dope. You know, like her just unapologetic identity for being exactly herself, you know, no fucks given, just, you know, this is, you know, take it or leave it, like I am, you know what I mean, like I got nothing, there's no shame in my game, it's nothing to hide, it's, you know what I mean, I'm out here, I'm thugging in public, I'm Cardi B, whatever, you know what I mean, like there was something so bold and so fire about her and her character and personality. And you know, I mean, no one ever could have known, but maybe I had an idea, you know. I remember telling her like really, really, really early. I forget if this was before or after No Limit, but you know, because I just kind of had a sense. I was like, "You're gonna be the biggest thing in the world, Cardi." Like, and she's like, "Oh, shut up," like, you know what I mean. But like, yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah. So salute to her, man. It's always inspiring to watch people just ascend into the, you know, to the infinite skies of heights.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate you taking
your time. I appreciate you guys, man. Let's push go on this record and just fucking.
Matter of fact, we ain't even gonna end it. Just go ahead and introduce the record for LA real quick.
Yeah. Young Gerald, G-Eazy here with new music, man, featuring my brother Chris Brown. This one's called Provide. Let's go.
And the reason why we call it Provide is because the beat was bounced out.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
There's a DJ here, G-Eazy. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah.